Why was this man so hated that he would be arrested 8 times, banned from dozens of stores, and have people surround his house and tail him for months on end? Without exaggerating, this is the most unbelievable story I've ever covered on my channel. So, what could he have possibly done? In December of 2004, Japanese police began receiving numerous 911 calls from the same individual, most of which were completely silent.
はい、110番警察です。事件ですか？事故ですか？
Over the next year, this became so frequent that the caller was warned if he continued, he would be arrested, to which he replied,
できるものならやってみろ.
And over the next 24 hours, he made over 1,000 emergency calls. After that, the police did catch him, very easily in fact, and he was sentenced to 1 year and 4 months in prison. You're going to hear that a lot in this video. Neighbors say the caller used to be a normal guy, but after getting dismissed from his internship at the city waterways department, he had a breakdown and started acting strangely. This was the first time his name appeared in the public record, but in this video, I'm going to call him by a pseudonym, Yoshi. After being released from prison, Yoshi continued his feud with the police. In May of 2009, Yoshi got into some trouble at a car dealership. It all started when his mechanic reached out and touched his shoulder with oily hands. Yoshi pushed him away, which started a fight that ended up with him getting, well, you guessed it, arrested. In jail, Yoshi tried to preserve
oily
his
hands really bad, though.
clothing to prove his self-defense.
Well, I mean, I must say, I'm not defending anybody here, but having oil from a car, you touch a t-shirt, and a t-shirt it's done forever.
Case, but when he was released 20 days later, he failed to produce anything. Yoshi accused his lawyer of secretly washing his clothes, and now believed there was a conspiracy to get him. I mean, the police showed up at the scene suspiciously quickly, and the mechanic must have tricked Yoshi into attacking him. It all made sense now. They were gangstalkers. Everyone in the town was gangstalking him, but he was going to expose them. In June 2013, Yoshi opened a YouTube channel to document the activities of these gang stalkers under the username IUAO700. Most of his uploads, around 10 minutes in length, featured Yoshi recording from his balcony or cycling around his neighborhood. Randomly filming people in Japan is rude and possibly even illegal. Plus, Yoshi's using a digital camera, so it's not surprising.
The YouTuber here, guys, I wish YouTubers were more careful with their wording and kind of made their research. What does that mean? What does that mean? Possibly illegal. Is it illegal or is it not illegal? Guys, there's no possibly. That's not how that works. What?
Surprising that he made a lot of enemies. One of the enemies he made was this construction company near his house that was installing security cameras in their parking lot. They must be spying on him.
なんで隠すの? なんで隠すの? 中見せて.
He calls the cops on them, but then... he assaults and spits on the employee in front of the police officer that he called. So he gets arrested again. He was released after 20 days, basically the longest they can hold you without charging you. But this only intensified his crusade against the gang stalkers. Next, Yoshi noticed a strange van in his neighborhood. He went over to investigate.
Why does he walk like that?
いや、こっちがどうしたのか聞いてるんですよ。
撮ってるんですか？
何言ってるんですか、ここで。
今ちょっと電話してるもんで。
あなた学校に用事があるの？
いや、まあ回収があるんですけど。
He keeps asking Mr. Acid Milk the same questions over and over, and they're not making any progress, so eventually he just calls him a stalker.
お前みたいなストーカーがおるから撮ってんだよ。
ストーカーじゃねえだろって言うのよ。
Mr. Acid Milk calls the cops.
すいません。ちょっとね、変な。
The local cops who are already familiar with Yoshi ask why he's being so aggressive and filming.
前そこで休憩してたんですよ。で、今日はここで休憩してるんですよ。
それは日陰探して回ってきたんじゃないんかね。
不審でしょ？
不審かね。
不審ですよ。
The cops tell him to leave Mr. Acid Milk alone, and for once he gets off without being arrested. The next gang stalker Yoshi targeted in his videos was the elementary school. Yes, he was feuding with an elementary school. Why? Well, I guess the kids were being too loud. And the chime was annoying. And this is where things get messed up because Yoshi,
fucking
in
annoying.
protest
I
of
will
the
agree.
elementary school gang stalking him, goes over and starts yelling and filming the students.
おい、来て。 うるせえんだバカ
And then the vice principal comes over to tell him to stop.
お疲れ様でしょうか。すいません、動画撮るのやめてください。ちょっとやめてもらえませんですか？
Yoshi gets angry and the vice principal calls the cops on him. They let him go home that day. But then the next day the cops show up at his house with a search warrant and an arrest warrant.
やめて、こっち来て、ちょっと来て、ちょっとやめて、ちょっとやめて、やめなさい、やめなさい。応じてくれんか？ちょっとやめてください。やめなさいって言ったの。ほらほら、はい、じゃあガスするよ。止めてくださいって言ったの。やめなさいって言ったら、やめなさいって、やめなさいって、止めなさいって、止めなさいって言ったの。止めなさいって。
止めて止めて
止めれない？止めれんか？止めれない。
I don't think these officers want to be filmed. Suspiciously, during this kerfuffle, he picked up a charge for resisting arrest. Apparently, he scratched an officer. I don't know about this one, but they didn't end up prosecuting him and released him after 20 days.
I mean, why bother?
After this, Yoshi started to see gang stalkers everywhere. Every car that drove by was a gang stalker. Helicopters were gang stalkers. Even airplanes were gang stalkers. He was also
True.
banned from a lot of local stores for causing trouble and filming inside.
何
あなた盗撮してますよね。
何？
アップしてますよね。立ち入り禁止ですあなた。二度と来ないでください。
もう二度と来ないでください。
申し訳ないですが、出禁になってますので、今すぐ出てってください。
出入りは禁止とさせていただきますが。
Wait, chat, his YouTube being that small, them knowing that it's going on YouTube means that they're legit. I'm not trying to be weird here, but there are different people in the area that are seeing what he's doing and reporting to the stores what's going on the YouTube every time, which is fair, because it warns people that they're being filmed, whatever. But there's an ability there that.
But then, all of a sudden, Yoshi went missing. He didn't upload for over
They're
a
not weird,
year.
I'm just saying
it was
that's-
confusing, but the video he uploaded after he came back would explain everything. It starts off like a typical Yoshi video. He's cycling around his neighborhood and exposing the gang stalkers.
True.
But then, all of a sudden,
あとうるせえなバカ
a high school kid rings his bell and angers Yoshi. He chases the kid. While Yoshi was fine with posting other people's faces online, he always censored his own. Eventually, he catches up to the kid and kicks him off his bike. Yoshi tries to attack while still on his bicycle, so the kid is able to dodge by just walking back and forth while calling for help on his phone.
Classic.
Soon, some women who heard the commotion come to help. They restrain Yoshi while waiting for the police to come, the whole while he's screaming.
助けて集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーこいつら仲間です
First off, the kid was fine, but this one was a big deal for Yoshi. The cops came, they arrested him, and this time they did prosecute. Thankfully, he recorded the evidence, so it was a pretty easy conviction, and he was sentenced to 10 months. That's why he was missing online for so long, and when he finally got back and uploaded this video, it didn't exactly go how he thought it would. I mean, he thought this video made him look good. Like, he thought he was the good guy in this situation.
Well, I mean, legally, I don't think they can hold him like that. It's just not. It's not. If he's wrong, they're also kind of wrong.
As you can imagine, this video caught people's attention. Specifically, the way he's yelling here.
集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます
Kind of became a meme. But his next upload would...
It's not whether I know Japanese law or not. Is that I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume you cannot have citizens like say, "Oh, I know the law. This is a crime. I will now stop you." Now you get a bunch of vigilantes. Oh, this guy just fucking. Okay, then chat. What stops me from stopping somebody who just jaywalked and then hold him on the ground because, guys, he did a crime and I gotta report this. I'm right in holding him down. Dude.
Really put him on the map. But first, a word from the sponsor of today's video, Displate. Displates are In between their growling and their grunts, these two gentlemen are telling Yoshi, stop filming, get down here, and we're gonna beat you up. For a moment, this video almost makes me think, poor Yoshi. What could he have possibly done to make these guys so mad? But this is all Yoshi's fault. The reason they're mad at him is because he spat on their mom multiple times. Their dad tries to talk it over, but he quickly realizes Yoshi is a lost cause. Eventually, he gives up and just calls the cops. Yoshi dodges arrest again. And that was the end of the video. But when Yoshi clicked the upload...
Well, how did he dodge the arrest there? Did Ad get mad? Dude.
Button on this one, he didn't know how much it was going to change his life, because this thing went mega viral. The first thing people noticed is that the two young guys look exactly like the characters from the manga Space Brothers. So that became their nickname. And it didn't stop there.
What?
At this point, Yoshi's videos start getting a lot of views, and he becomes a bit of a celebrity online. As you could imagine, these viewers don't like Yoshi very much.
Goku?
Some of them decide to start messing with him. For a guy who's so concerned about gangstalkers, he did not protect his personal information very well. I mean, yeah, he censored his face, but he uploaded hours of footage from his balcony. He showed the front of his house. I mean, he even said the name of the elementary school. The people online didn't need to be Rainbolt to track him down. At first, they started with small pranks, signing him up to receive university pamphlets or flyers, stuff like that.
God.
Yoshi freaked out and called the cops. Which, of course, only escalated things.
Well, they can't
Before
prove
we
that
continue,
anymore.
I'd like to make it very clear that although Yoshi's behavior has been really bad up until this point, it's obviously wrong to mess with him in real life. The reason I say that is because it gets more intense from here. The next thing the trolls started doing was giving guys on Tinder Yoshi's address and saying to come over.
That's so bad. That is so bad.
ちょっと人に会いに来たんですけど、それで場所ここを
That's
指定
not
さ
funny
れ
at all.
たんですけど、
誰に会いに来たんだ
ちょっとネットの人で今から飲もうかってなって、
That's
こ
not
こに来た
funny.
ら人が違ったっていう。
人が違ったでどうしてわかるんだ
This guy's so convincing, even Yoshi's not sure he didn't invite him. Anyways, Yoshi asks the kid to show him the alcohol he brought, and then they have a peaceful parting. It wasn't long before the trolls themselves were showing up in Yoshi's neighborhood. At first, they started off by doing things like setting off fireworks or putting things on his bicycle seat, but it got out of control very quickly.
That is so not based.
Gentlemen?
The masked man just stands there, showing off grocery store products. Even weirder, you'd expect Yoshi to be like, what are you doing here? But both of them just stand there in silence for an entire minute. Until...
おいなんだお前おいなんだお前
Honestly, Yoshi's pretty calm and collected here because...
Chat, guys, these guys might be like literally hired from people that are like on like Craigslist, and they're like sold on this entire like skit of like oh, we're doing a movie, oh, we're over here, now do this, and they might be like sent and hired to do all this shit. So it's like these might not even know they're trolling somebody.
Because that was like a jump scare to me.
おい
But that's not the last we'll see of what the fans called the masked gentleman. No, he came back the next day.
Oh! This is, you only feel that way because it happened to you. Okay, so then you should then have it happen to you before you can say that this is bad. Gotcha. Hey, yo. So smart. That's so smart.
For some reason, he starts
Fine,
cleaning
man,
up
you got me.
garbage outside. Yoshi watches him do this for a while, like at least 10 minutes before he calls the cops.
家の前に覆面をした怪しいやつがいます。わかりました。今まだいますか？います。何人いますか？一人います。お前警察来るまで待ってろよ。今その人と今話できるような状態？おるここにおる。目の前におるわ。なんかこいつなんか凶器持ってますよ。どんなもの持ってますか？なんだこれ？挟むやつ。
Whoa!
今カチカチやってますわこいつ。
I cannot imagine what the guy on the other end of this call is thinking. Skipping ahead 3 minutes, the cops get there, but Yoshi thinks they came a little too quickly.
おハエもう来ました。どっかに隠れてたみたいに。どっかに隠れて110番するの待ってたみたいに来ましたわ。
But Yoshi's figured out their little conspiracy. They're working together.
お前らなんで110番すると金になるんか。騒ぎを起こしてお前110番させてなんだお前ら金になるんか。
Nobody was arrested here, but things continued escalating outside Yoshi's house, so much so that he bought a security camera to capture what was going on.
What?
The first upload was on September 12th, 2016. It shows a man in the pitch black at 3 a.m. taking flash photography outside Yoshi's house. 2 weeks later, Yoshi uploaded another video from the security camera. This kid comes by and throws paper everywhere. Yoshi comes out to check what the hell's going on. This is what Yoshi looks like. It's the first time he's ever appeared in one of his own videos. The kid sees that he came out and runs back. Then we cut to some footage from Yoshi's digital camera. Everyone online thought Yoshi did a great job of standing up for himself, and that the other guy went way too far. But the guy can't leave without his shirt, so he has to come back and apologize to Yoshi to retrieve it. But the cops are already on the way. You'll never believe this, but for the first time in our story, someone aside from Yoshi gets arrested. Yeah, as you can tell, the cops were so confused by what was going on that by the time they finished the arrest, it had gotten dark. And on October 9th, there was a circus of trolls outside. But at least they stopped once the sun went down.
Oh, man.
By now, the pressure and stress
Dude, no
of everyone
way.
messing with him was getting to Yoshi, and he started to cause trouble in the neighborhood.
なんか言うんですか。なんで写真撮ってるんですか。なんで写真撮ってるんですか。なんで写真撮ってるんですか。撮らなくていいですか。やめてくれ。やめてください。あなたこそやめてください。あなたこそやめてください。撮らないでください。なんか写真撮らないでください。あなたこそやめてください。勝手に撮らないでくださいよ。撮らないでくださいよ。だからちょっと写真撮らって勝手に撮らないと困るんで。
Yoshi had finally met his match. But the trolls weren't getting bored. In fact, they were only getting more elaborate. At 5 a.m. on October 25th, one of them placed a cardboard box outside of Yoshi's house. 4 hours later, Yoshi walked out to get his mail.
What?
And guess who was inside? Not only were the pranks getting more elaborate, they were also getting more dangerous. On October 30th, these guys were adjusting a flag they put up at Yoshi's house, which pissed him off, so he ran out and charged at them. He pushed the ladder over. It's pretty brutal, but in a stroke of luck, the guy was actually completely fine. He got knocked down, got up, and then continued messing with Yoshi outside his house for the rest of the day, like many more.
Wait, why would he censor it? It's like it's some WWE shit. From the top ladder?
Hours outside. Not 2 weeks later, someone uploaded a video of themselves dancing outside Yoshi's house in an anime cosplay. The trolls had clearly escalated things too far, from harmless pranks all the way up to actual stalking. Yoshi's legacy is going from the guy who imagined he was being gang-stalked to actually being gang-stalked. And Yoshi wasn't the only one that they were hurting. You wouldn't believe this, but in that house of chaos, 48-year-old Yoshi lived with his parents, and their health started to decline. A few months prior, Yoshi's father slipped on their bathroom tiles and never fully recovered. In late 2016, he was hospitalized for pneumonia, and several weeks later, on January 3rd, 2017, he passed away. Yoshi never went to visit his father in the hospital because he was too paranoid about the gangstalkers, and he had his own theories about what happened. According to Yoshi, the slippery tiles that he tripped on, the gangstalkers did that. The pneumonia? Well, the gangstalkers did that too. Even the hospital employees were gangstalkers. Their drugs were poisoned. Obviously, none of that is true, but trolls messing with him 24/7 was not helping his mental state. These trolls were now in every part of his life. One of them had even gone and visited his dad in the hospital. Because things had gotten so bad, Yoshi's mom gave him an ultimatum. If he didn't stop using the internet by the end of March 2017, she would have him institutionalized. She even signed a document that would allow this. So Yoshi had no choice. He stopped uploading. For 6 months, there was no sign of him.
She
but on
has
September 19th, 2017, everything changed. One of Yoshi's neighbors was walking by when he noticed something peculiar that made him stop in his tracks. It was Yoshi's mom laying outside the door. He called for an ambulance, but the person on the other end of the line was a little bit suspicious because it was Yoshi's address. He also alerted the neighbors, the Space Brothers' house, and they all went to help. An ambulance arrived.
That is very, very, very poor policing if that's true. If that's true, very poor policing. They have to take every call serious, regardless of even if there's 100,000 bad calls, it doesn't matter. They have to take all of them seriously. There's the one time they get it wrong, they're liable.
The neighbors, the Space Brothers' house, and they all went to help. An ambulance arrived 10 minutes later.
Bro, imagine saying not true. You're a brain dead. You have no idea how that works. Just be quiet.
Where was Yoshi? Well, it didn't take police long to find him. He was in his room, watching the security cameras the whole time. He didn't get up to help. They placed him under arrest, but he refused to cooperate, so they had to carry him out. His mom didn't make it, but Yoshi didn't do it. They cleared him and sent him home that evening. The reason we have this footage is because, well, with his mom gone, he was able to get back on the internet and post it, with absolutely zero sympathy for his mother, just complaining about how the cops treated him. I know it's hard to sympathize with Yoshi after everything he's done, but he's still a victim in this story. The person he hurt the most with his actions is himself.
Well, I think that's still a weird commentary. Hold on, let me back it up.
With his mom gone, he was able to get back on the internet and post it, with absolutely zero sympathy for his mother, just complaining about how the cops treated him. I know it's hard to sympathize with Yoshi after everything he's done, but he's still a victim in this story. The person he hurt the most with his actions is himself. After the stuff with his mom, things were back to normal for a while. But in mid-2018, Yoshi disappeared again. The trolls looked everywhere for him. People who went by his house reported it was empty. Eventually, one of the trolls just went inside. The door was unlocked. The inside of Yoshi's house was a mess. More disturbingly, there were signs of a struggle, like Yoshi had been taken away. The truth is, Yoshi had gotten into a fight while handing out his gangstalker pamphlets and assaulted someone. He was arrested, held for 22 days, and then institutionalized. He was released 6 months later, but his bad luck didn't end there. In June 2019, his YouTube account was banned for copyright violations. It's unclear why this happened, but it might have had something to do with trolls following him around and playing copyrighted music.
It's a lot more likely that somebody uploaded his own video and then made a complaint at YouTube that said, "Yo, this guy's uploading my video," even though this guy's copy of a video, and YouTube doesn't fucking double check, and the guy doesn't check his email or whatever, and she should have got banned. That's like 99% of probably what happened.
3 days after his ban, Yoshi was hit by a truck while cycling around his neighborhood. He suffered broken ribs, a punctured lung, fractures in his shoulder, lower back, hips, and more. He was injured all over, but he didn't trust the hospital workers. He thought they were with the gangstalkers, so he refused treatment and went home. Adding insult to injury, Yoshi's internet had been disconnected for non-payment, and by the end of the year...
Just a question, Chat. Is it like a cultural
Yoshi's
thing,
internet
Chat?
had been disconnected for non-payment.
Is it like a cultural thing with scrolling text? Things that are... I've seen live streams that are both Japanese and Chinese, and a lot of them have scrolling text on top of the screen. A lot of it also in subways and a bunch of there's a lot of scrolling text. Yeah, it is cultural then. It is.
So he refused treatment and went home. Adding insult to injury, Yoshi's internet had been disconnected for non-payment, and by the end of the year, he also lost his water and electricity. Yoshi's obsession with gangstalkers had now cost him everything. Surprisingly, help came to Yoshi from the last place you'd expect, the internet. In 2020, as live streaming became a thing in Japan, people wanted to go and meet Yoshi for content. The only good thing was, it's pretty bad to go and mess with someone who's already in so much trouble, so they went to help him. The first live streamer who went to meet him was Natural9, and he was the first person to ever successfully speak with Yoshi, a lot different from the people who would just yell at him through his window. The first day they met, Natural9 took Yoshi to City Hall to help him apply for welfare benefits. Then, the next day, he took Yoshi to get his utilities turned back on. But they were unsuccessful because the outstanding balance was so high. They went out for sushi on the way home, and Yoshi opened up about his personal life. He said that when he was young, he used to think he was a genius, and that he's afraid of death. Natural 9 had successfully befriended Yoshi, and they streamed together many times. Unfortunately, this relationship was not to last. One day, coming home from dinner, Natural 9 went to take off his Crocs as he went in Yoshi's house, and Yoshi was like, nah, you don't have to take them off.
Can I get welcome
But right after they got inside, that was it, their friendship was over. Regardless, a few days later, Natural 9 went back to apologize and gave Yoshi $140. Plus, his viewers were donating too, so Yoshi got like $600 that day. Natural 9 no longer streams, but apparently he still brings Yoshi food here and there. 2 other live streamers went to meet Yoshi as well. This Yosun guy also showed up with like $100 for Yoshi. I guess that was the new standard. If you wanted him on your stream, you had to donate him $100. They ended up going out for dinner and spending 5 hours talking. During this conversation, Yoshi confessed that he was stealing fruit from local farmers in the middle of the night. Finally, this Ito guy hung out with Yoshi for a day, donated the standard $100, and they spent 3 hours going to different restaurants together. Yoshi explained that another live streamer named Kobayashi had paid off all his bills, his water, his electricity, and his gas, so his life had improved significantly. He also revealed that he had no idea about the pandemic. Pretty ironic coming from Yoshi, who had been wearing a mask since 2013 because he didn't want to be seen by gangstalkers. He also said that his neighbors, the Space Brothers family, had moved away, and that a Vietnamese family had moved in, and they were opening up a restaurant. The Space Brothers had to heavily discount their house to get it to sell, and the Vietnamese family probably didn't know why it was so cheap until after they moved in. It did not take long for trouble to start. The Vietnamese family complained that Yoshi was banging on the walls and making noise all the time, and Yoshi complained that they were doing karaoke at 2 a.m. Things spiraled out of control in May of 2022 when Yoshi smashed the window of the Vietnamese family's car, which got the police involved. Yoshi was live streaming at the time that they came.
Oh, come on, man.
Yoshi was arrested again. The footage you're seeing is actually uploaded by the Vietnamese family. He was in jail for just under a year. He got out in April 2023, and by that time, the Vietnamese family had already moved away. He laid low for 5 months, then returned to the internet in September.
Dude, he's terrorizing everybody.
We're all caught up to the present. Yoshi streams every day from his phone. He covers stuff like gang stalkers and how to prevent them, social ostracism. Amazon is gang stalking me by delivering all my packages. The Sun is gang stalking. The police chief is a gang stalker. People are still stalking my dad's great.
Dude, at this point, I feel like there's probably a part of him that, yeah, probably ill, I get it. But probably another one that's like, oh, this is getting views, this is working, whatever. He's probably furthering his career that he's obviously wanted to pursue at this point by exacerbating the meme.
Gang stalking me by delivering all my packages. The Sun is gang stalking.
The Sun is gang stalking.
People are still stalking my dad's great. So I covered all that stuff in part 2. And believe me, there are so many more interesting Yoshi stories that I couldn't fit in this one. Part 2 is available for free on my Patreon. Yes, that's right, it's free. You don't have to pay. Just click the link in the description. Thanks to my patrons who make all this stuff possible, and thanks to you.
That was a good video. I enjoyed it, actually. There's no parts. I can't see it. I enjoyed that.
Hey brother man, thank you as always for the content and entertainment. I
What?
hope everything goes well and for everyone in chat too.
All that stuff in part
xQcl.
2. And believe me, there are so many more interesting...
I feel it morally wrong to go to one of his links to watch a fucking video that is not on YouTube, to give it another place to watch that goes against what he wants it to be. That's fucking weird. I'm not fucking doing that.
Thank you for watching the
I
video.
don't care that it's free. The whole point, it would be free for him to put it on YouTube as well. He didn't. He wants people to click on it and go watch it. By me clicking on it, it means people are not clicking on the Patreon, regardless of it being free, and I'm bypassing his actual goal, that he's actually saying, I want this. That's just weird.